Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:09, Friday, October 28th, 49 degrees, getting up to 54 today. WOBMAM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the radio, pop app, and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. Join the conversation. We are joined in studio by Toby Stark, Stark Associates Insurance Agency. Good morning, Toby. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Glad to be here. The towers are fantastic when I approach from the Parkway.
Overlooking the beautiful Toms River. I mean, you can't.
Beautiful area.
You can't
beat it.
No, it's really.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so I'm looking. The first thing I want to ask is, it's because I had to, when I was writing down your information, I had to look twice actually because it's Stark.
Here we go.
It's Stark Associates Insurance.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And there's a fine line between Stark Associates and Stark and Associates.
There is a fine line with Stark Associates and Stark and Associates.
Right.
Correct.
So can you help me out with the difference there a little bit?
Yeah. So my father owned a business.
Yeah.
And it was Stark and Associates, and I said, well, I'm going to take Stark and Associates, even though it was the same business.
Right.
It was totally different, but I'm going to use that name. So I went down to the county clerk, and they're like, it's taken. Right, of course it's taken. Stark and Associates. So I go, well, I'd like to use my name, so let me just cut the "and" out.
Really?
So there's much more confusion, though. People go, not Stark Industries, Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Right, we made that joke a bunch last week. Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I with a tail between my legs, I go,
yeah.
No, not billionaire, not Playboy,
Right.
no, not defense contractor, no, sorry.
Well, it's okay, but the good news is you don't have to wear that glowing thing in the middle of your chest either. Right?
Forget the shrapnel.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I can live. Everything's good.
So tell us about Stark Associates Insurance. I mean, what's your hook? What's the game? What do you do? What's so special about what you do?
Well, I got into the business in 2009. I worked for a payroll company called PrimePay. They're up in northern Jersey. I started networking with insurance brokers. I was looking for residual income to grow a base of a business, and it looked like insurance. Nobody actually comes out, and we were talking prior, nobody says, hey, I'm going to work in insurance when I grow up.
Right.
Generally, it's family, and you kind of back into it. I went the sideways route. So I met insurance brokers. It seemed like they had a good life. I'd like a good foundation, so I got involved early on. And it depends which way you go. There's many different aspects of insurance, a wide swath. I went into the side route of group medical insurance for business to business, and individual insurance, not knowing how hot of a topic legislatively it was and how it would ever change. 2009 was very, very different than it is today.
Right. Well, and that's great because it's a great niche because, let's be honest, nobody understands it.
Nobody has a clue. And then when they think they understand it, they don't use it for a year. They forget everything.
Right.
Like when you repeated WOBM and you said everything very fast, you say it over and over and over and over. Nobody says, I have a $1,500 deductible. Here's a copay. There's nothing sexy about that.
No.
They just forget. They don't even know what they have after they buy it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, we do this thing with our insurance. We do this thing where we ask our insurance agent to literally send us a note that says there are no marketable changes, right? Or there are no major changes year over year in your coverage.
Right, but even if they said if there's no major changes, you go, well, what do I have anyway?
Oh, no, we don't know. But we know it hasn't changed
it hasn't
in a long
changed.
time. Yeah.
So what I don't know I have or don't have, it didn't change. So that's good.
Well, it's good. So now now that you've been down this road for a little while, are you realizing the quality of life that you had seen from these other insurance agents? Are you feeling the love that you had hoped to feel from an industry, from a business that was going to be so kind to your to be able to marry a professional and personal life? Is it everything you'd hoped for, Toby?
It's funny when it said a grass is always greener, but it almost seems like more of a volunteer position, and I say that jokingly because so many people don't understand and they want answers, but they can't get answers, and they're not going to call the insurance carrier because a lot of the times you're going to get rerouted to China or India or somewhere else where they can only answer an inside-the-box question.
Right.
So, I feel like I'm there to do some type of good. I'm a volunteer at heart. So it's a work in progress,
right?
We'll say from growing the agency standpoint,
right? You do get paid though, right? I mean, let's be fair. I mean, there's some coin involved.
Yes,
okay.
yes. I would like to get paid.
Okay.
Do get paid. Have
Gotcha.
to pay bills. Correct.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about medical for a second, right?
Sure.
So, we all know that. Have you been able to see? Right? What has changed financially? How do you feel your average client has been impacted over the last few years by changes in our laws?
Well, I think the ACA, and I'm sure you've talked about it before on the air.
Once or twice.
Right. What that did was that packed in more mandates, and New Jersey is one of the heaviest mandated states in the country about you have to include ear coverage. You have to have all these coverages. And if you have to have, it costs something. So the minimum essential benefits, it's called, and individuals, it's 2013, they had more watered-down plans and flexibility of other plans, but they had to pack these mandates in by law, so you saw these spikes and increases. And it's funny now because you talk about the people talking, there's a lot of op-eds. Oh, it's since Affordable Care Act, it's gone up 3 to 5%, the lowest in years. Well, I had a lot of business clients in 2013 that went up 65 or 70%. Right. And a lot of people, they forget very quickly 2 years down the line that they went up 70%. So if they only went up 5% now, they actually over the past 4 years went up like 125%.
Right.
So they have to get more flexible in plan offerings, and we have to hollow out the plans a little bit more so they can afford it. Baseline is what can you afford?
Right.
And it's getting tougher and tougher.
Right. Well, and it's, so and we don't want to, we never want to bring any of our business guests in to talk politics because that would never happen in the insurance realm. But as we all know, once you start taking sides politically, you kind of affect your customer base, right? So, although you're in the Monmouth Ocean County area, so let's be fair, it's we know where 95% of the folks are voting anyway. But does what Donald Trump's not. Does what he said? I can't talk at all today, by the way.
You're doing great. I'm patient.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's like, do you remember in Billy Madison when he says, "Today, Junior"?
Yeah, but I said that in my mind, but you didn't see that.
That's what I've been doing. All day I've been doing that. And I've only been here for 45 minutes. And we only have a minute left. See how I've killed time. When we come back, I want you to tell me if what Donald Trump said about eliminating the lines, right? Eliminating the lines and building in more competition.
Right.
My belief is I think he was right. When we come back, I want to know if you think he was right, too. Toby Stark Associates, get rid of the and. Back after this.
The Sean Hannity Show, this afternoon at 3. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin returns next. News Talk Radio, WOBM, AM 1160 and 1310. Connect with Jeremy, 732-505-1160. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, Toby Stark Associates Insurance. So, Toby, when we left, we were talking about eliminating the lines. So that's the answer, right? Eliminate the lines, build more competition.
Right. So it's really easy to say eliminate the lines, everything will be perfect. But here's the thing. So every insurance carrier based in every state has a rate scale of what they're going to pay out based upon an MRI, X-ray, hospital visit. That varies widely. So if we go to Texas, I say I'm going to get employer-based coverage and I'm going to enroll in Horizon Plug, like Blue Cross Texas. So their MRI is $300, but I live in New Jersey. I get the MRI done, and it's $1,200. Well, that's different. So I enroll for the year. All my utilization is done in the state of New Jersey, but I have a Texas-based company. All of a sudden, my rates go up 900%.
Right.
So the elimination of lines isn't necessarily the solution because every insurance carrier has the charges are wild all over the place. And if I asked an individual if they went in to get an MRI, they would say it's $50 copay. Well, no, it's not a $50 copay, but that's what society knows about copays. It could be $1,500, and that's what the insurance carriers pay on the back end. You ask the provider, you go into your doctor, they don't even know.
Right.
So that's a quick and simple, I have 45 seconds to talk answer. It's so much deeper than that.
Right.
You do want to increase competition, but the ACA, unfortunately, it's a loss to the consumers, really, because a lot of insurance carriers in New Jersey have left. because they took on a lot of bad risk and they couldn't float. So you only have 2 carriers left on the individual market. And more importantly, I'm getting calls and they go, I can go to New York, right? No, you can't go to New York anymore. You have to stay, quote unquote, in network. And people think in network's 9 doctors down the street.
Right.
It's 15 or 20,000 doctors in New Jersey, but some people, they want to go to New York, and it's very personal. It's a very personal conversation. Sometimes they tell me way too much about what's going on, but they want a solution.
Right.
So,
right. And you do you try and help them with the appropriate salve or cream?
Correct. I say, look, I'm no doctor, but let me just get online and Google this, and it says this. So, I say I'm not going to play God, and I'm not going to play doctor. And I say if it's an emergency, go to the emergency room. But you have to think twice. Don't go to the emergency room. I said, but ultimately it's a personal decision because I'm not going to tell you how to save your life.
Right. But really, I guess to me, I struggle with it, from at an intellectual level, only insofar as I think, if we're in the richest country in the world, right? If you put in a hardworking 40-hour work week, right, and you live you're doing the right things, you're raising a family, you're trying to do everything the right way, you should have some kind of a right to health care, right? You should be able to have someone cure you when you're sick if the technology exists. Right, this is not Elysium. Do you remember? You see that? Remember that movie? Did you ever see that one?
Am I too young for that?
No, you're not. It's a relatively new one. Did you ever see that one, Zach?
No,
that's the one where
I don't think so.
Zach said no. Okay, good.
I'm going to spin it for you. So,
right.
so like everybody, it's Matt Damon. He lives on Earth, right, with all the people that are in like the lower middle class and below, and the elite live on like a satellite planet. And the elite have like these things that they can just sit in like an MRI machine and it cures them of anything. Right? And back on the so it's one of these. It was a sci-fi, but it's like got that political. But my point is, do you agree with that fundamentally? Like we should have some right to health care, right?
You should, but again, in this society of foundation of capitalism, it's like, unfortunately, like everything else, and. If you go and buy a TV, you make a price decision. You're talking to your wife. You're like, oh, I don't know. Should we go 60-inch or 70-inch?
Right.
I mean, whatever. And then you know what that cost is. But people don't know what the cost is here, and it's so high. It's like, okay, so I don't have medical insurance. Okay, so I have the right to get treated. The hospital can't say no to you. And then all of a sudden you get a bill for $250,000. All right, well, let's see. So I have a house. Well, no, not anymore. Like it's just such a slippery slope, and there's politics involved, legislative mandates, and just raw emotions. And generally, when people call me, I make sure to get back to them as quick as I can, because if they don't understand it and don't know what's going on, they get mad so fast.
I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure.
It's as personal as can be. I mean, your health.
All right. So when we get back, right, I want to hear from, aside from the fact that we're giving you your magic wand, which I know you've probably been hoping for that for some time now. I have no doubt. But besides that, I want you to tell us, because you're in a pretty complex business, right? I'm sure you're getting calls pretty regularly, but you also somehow managed to volunteer for about 24 different organizations. So I'd like to kind of go through 30. My bad. I apologize. Didn't mean to undercut you like
Your
that.
bad is correct.
But I'd like for you to kind of tell people what you do, how you get, because a lot of it is getting yourself out there. It helps your business, but it also is you giving back to the community, which is pretty cool. So Toby Stark Associates Insurance, Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back after this.
The news never stops at WOBMAM.com. Get the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 634 Friday, October 28th, 49 degrees, getting up to 54 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Stream live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. Whew, I'm all right now.
You did well there.
Thank you. I felt good about it. Toby Stark, Stark Associates Insurance. So, Toby, so you are. Tell us about the volunteer organizations that you are a part of. Let's go through them. What are you doing?
Sure. So I'm secretary of MODC, Monmouth Ocean Development Council. Alongside that, actually, this year, 1-year term with the New Jersey Association of Health Underwriters. I'm president. 600 insurance brokers.
That's a party. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
We do the devil's work.
Right.
We do
Yeah.
the work. We communicate a lot with our legislators in the state to say, what we think should be best for the clients that we have. And it's definitely not confetti falling from the ceiling. And it might be a little dry, but at the end of the day, hopefully the consumers are thankful
impact, right?
for what we do. Yeah. And I've been involved since I've been a little kid with the Eatontown Lions Club. It always gets confused with the Elks Club. I'll tell somebody, hey, I work with the Lions Club. I volunteer. And then 2 minutes later, they're like, so what do you do again with the Elks? For whatever reason, I think because the Elks actually have a building and a bar, there's a little confusion there because the Lions Club in town does not have a bar, and we meet at the local hotel there in Eatontown. But we do a lot of giving back, a lot of touch out to the community, and I've just grown up with that. It's funny because some people get into business and look for ways to give back. And I kind of did it the opposite because I was always giving back, just thinking it was a part of life. My parents, Joel and Barbara Stark, helped me just understand that from a young age. Christmas tree sales, pancake breakfast. And I was the youngest by 25 or 30 years. I was president in 2009. It was kind of like growing up with like 39 dads.
Right.
But it isn't a male-only group. That's because that's the other thing we always get asked, like, "Oh, it's all guys." No. We're diversified.
That's nice.
So
that's
yeah,
nice.
It was.
Anything else? There was. I think you mentioned Le Tip, right?
Yes. On Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. we have a networking group in Red Bank, Le Tip of Red Bank. It's just another way of trying to get your name out there and seeing if you can help other professionals in other industries pass business.
Very cool.
So it's a balance, but I love volunteering, and it's always been a part of my life. So I always make time for it.
Right.
I really think you have to. It's the thing to do. A lot of your best work is done for free.
Right. Well, listen. Most of my work is done for free. Almost all of my work is done.
That's good for you.
Like I always tell people, most people. There was that old saying, just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. And I always say I'm trying to make 15 cents out of $1.
Right.
So, which is, by the way, it's a lot easier. Yeah, it's just so much easier.
So easy.
So speaking of easy. Well, a lot of ways I can go with that. Speaking of easy, it's that time where we give you your magic wand, your pixie dust, your fairy dust, your ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact. Toby Stark, Stark Associates, aside from the fact that you would like to be able to just wave that wand and get that and back between Stark and Associates, what would you do with the magic wand?
It's probably boring. I would love to just continue to help individuals. I know this sounds ridiculous, but procure coverage. From an insurance standpoint, I really feel like the education should be better. We're trying the best we can to deliver as much education as we can. Unfortunately, it can't be more simple. It's not like purchasing a plane ticket where you go, I'm going to Vegas, and I know where you're going, and you know you're coming back to Newark. I just think that there's just a disconnect, and people need to understand better, and I really like to work on a way just to magically help these people understand, business owners as well, because they're definitely emotional for what they don't know.
Right.
So if you could imagine if they were educated, maybe they would be a little bit happier. With a 30 or 40% rate increase, which thankfully hasn't happened in a couple of years, they're not as hot, but they respect the brokerage professional for trying the best they can to inform them. But magic wand would be education to help people better. And I wish I could help every single person because it's not like cookie cutter. Everybody's got a different ailment or something that's going on. And I almost feel like a doctor. Maybe if I come back, I could be a doctor.
You think so? I don't think that's.
No.
I think you know what?
No,
I'm going to go
I
on
don't.
a limb. I'm going to go on a limb and say the insurance guy ultimately is going to make a lot more than doctor. So don't worry about it. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Maybe I'll start a foundation.
Let me ask you: how many times a day do you get like an Iron Man reference?
So what happens generally is if I go to check into a hotel and I have to use a credit card, gas station, or I'm calling IT tech support for something that was going on my email or something like that. As far as the Philippines, they'll go, there's a pause. Wait. Toby Stark? It's Tony Stark?
Yeah.
And I mean, it seems like it's so awesome. And I always said that when the movies came out, that was fantastic because everybody paid attention. Iron Man's not new.
Right.
It's been in the comics forever.
No, I understand.
So if I was in 5th and 6th grade and the movie came out, I would have been carried around.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, I missed that boat. But I'll take it.
Timing is everything. I mean, we have talked about that. You know,
I could say no. That is true. So I could say I'm the Iron Man. Your Iron Man of insurance.
Well, that's what I'm surprised that you haven't like parlayed that in some way, right? You know, but you do work out, so you could be the pumping Iron Man.
I'm attempting to do that. Yeah.
All right.
It's important too.
Toby, where would folks learn more about Stark Enterprises? I mean, Stark Associates. Where would they go?
Stark-associates.com.
Yeah.
I have a lot of information on there. Individual open enrollment is coming up in November. A lot of confusion, a lot of time where people may be switching plans and they need somebody to talk to. A lot of people just don't click the link and go, okay, I'm purchasing insurance and I'm done. Wait, what am I getting?
Right.
So that's a good start there and a good conversation. So I would say that's the best. That's the best.
Stark-Associates. That's the little dashy thing, right?
So on the keyboard somewhere, I think you have to hit Shift. Yeah, look on your.
No, you don't. You don't have to hit Shift. Is it hyphen?
Well, look there's a long underscore and there's. Don't make it more complicated than it's supposed to. Here,
there's no.
Wait, you don't want to look. Those two keyboards. It's QWERTY. It's the same.
I know, but I just want to double check. But it's no. You don't have to hit a Shift or anything.
All right.
All right.
We don't want extra steps.
No, Stark. I'm just trying to give more airtime to the website. So
I appreciate it.
Anyway, Toby Stark. Stark-associates.com.
I said spelled out.
Yeah. Insurance, making insurance fun. Right, I mean, and actually trying to not get hit or
you got to have a sense of humor because generally I walk in, it's like a black cloud. Businesses don't necessarily want to see me, but hey, I delivered. Yeah. I said a good second job for me, if this didn't work out, would be Paul Bear.
Yeah,
I mean,
because let's be fair. There's insurance to me is like underwear, right? It's like you have to have it, right, for the most part. Right, but
Commando.
But there's nothing super fun about it for the most part.
Well, generally it's the way that the underwear is put on.
Yes,
I would say,
or taken off. We're going to leave it at that. Toby Stark, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here at the Towers.
Back with more after this.